Hi everyone, just wanted to share my thoughts of Novak Djokovic making it into week two of Wimbledon. He put in a really impressive display today to beat Arthur Rinderknech 7-5, 6-4, 1-6, 7-6, coming through in just over 3 hours. And like I said in the last match, this was a match that Djokovic really needed. He really needed to kind of face a big server if he's to go all the way in this Wimbledon. And boy, did Rinderknech deliver in spades. He served 21 aces. He was hitting at about 135 miles an hour. Now, the record for tennis is normally about 140, 145, something like that. So it was very, very near the fastest serve that you're going to face as a professional tennis player. And Djokovic had to absorb that. And Djokovic has never played Arthur Rinderknech before. So he's going into this match. He doesn't know how Rinderknech's going to serve. And when you're serving at 135 miles an hour, you've literally got a millisecond to decide which way you're going to go, how you're going to return. And Djokovic did that really, really well. In the first two sets, it was vintage Djokovic, just kind of hanging in there, hanging in on his serves, and then pouncing when he gets the chance. He was ruthless today on the key points in the first two serves. I said on commentary at the time when I was watching the match that I said that Arthur Rinderknech is going to be absolutely bemused how his two sets to love down, the way that he was playing. He was hitting winners from all over the park, a very, very powerful player. And he was putting pressure on Djokovic, and that kind of told in the third set when he got an early break. And then Djokovic went 3-0 down, 3-4, 5-0 down after just 10 minutes. But I really think Djokovic is using all of his experience and nous and control. And he's thinking, this set has gone. Arthur Rinderknech is playing lights out tennis. Do I need to be chasing every single ball down? And he probably thinks about it, and you've got to think of things like that. When that set is almost gone, are you going to then be chasing every ball down as if your life means on it when you know you've still got work to do? So I think Djokovic kind of knew that set had gone very, very quickly. Rinderknech went 5-0 up after about 12 minutes, which against Djokovic is unthinkable. He's never been bagel before on grass, but he got that important sixth game in the third set because that meant he served first. Now, Djokovic, the reason why he is so, so good at tennis is his brain. He thinks about absolutely everything. He's a tactical genius, and the reason why he does so well is he knows the game so well, and he knew it was important, really important for him to start serving first in that fourth set because that's when you put pressure on. You hold your serve, you're then going to keep putting pressure on Rinderknech on that for the rest of that set, and keeping ahead just keeps your psychologically strong. So he held the an important sixth game for me. He was 15-30 down, but he held and to make sure it wasn't a bagel, and he lost that set 6-1. Arthur Rinderknech at this stage was inspired. He was hitting the ball freely. I followed Arthur Rinderknech's career in the last few years. He's improved massively. Obviously, he won the Masters in Shanghai when he famously was in the final, sorry, with his cousin Valentin Vachereau, and he's improved so much. He seems to be a big match player. He seems to really raise his game, try to get the crowd going. But I think he did it in a respectful way. I know there's a few people that aren't big fans of Rinderknech, but I think he's a decent guy. And what are you going to do in that position? You're going to try and get as much energy as you can from the crowd, and I don't think Djokovic minds that too much. History will tell you that much. We went into the fourth set, so Rinderknech is still playing at a very, very high level, but Djokovic now, his serving has gone to a completely different dimension. So Djokovic knew that he was going to get very, very few chances of the way that Rinderknech was serving. So it made sure that he served really, really well. His service rating for set four was actually higher than Rinderknech. It went up to 9.4, and that's purely because Djokovic knew he had to serve well the way that Rinderknech was playing. It inevitably went to the tiebreak. I don't even think there was a single break point for either player in that set four. It was very, very dominated by serve. It went to the tiebreak. If Rinderknech then takes that fourth set, it becomes 2-2. It's a lottery. We saw what happened in the French Open when Djokovic was cruising against Fonseca. It got to 2-2, and then the younger players then get energized because they know they're playing someone much older than them, and they're more likely to be physically stronger in that latter part. So I think Djokovic was really keen to win that set today in the fourth set. It was hot as well. It was 25 degrees. It was in the heat of the day, peak of the day in terms of heat. He didn't want that to go five, and there was a point in that tiebreak which really sums up Djokovic to a T. He went 4-3 down in that tiebreak, and you think, okay, well, this is now the case where any little mistake here and Djokovic is in trouble. He took an extra breath. He fires down one of his biggest serves, an ace. Rinderknech didn't even move, 4-all. And you think, okay, fine, what's he going to do next? He replicates it on the other side. He hits one of his best serves. He goes 5-4 up, and Rinderknech's just saying, 4-3. Just give me anything. Give me a second serve. Give me a first serve that I can get to. And I think at that point, Djokovic knew that he was in the zone, and so did Rinderknech. Rinderknech didn't win any of the points in that tiebreak. Djokovic closes it out 7-4. He's going to be delighted with that. He obviously is my tip to win Wimbledon this year. I think he's still he's the best grass court player that there is at the moment that's active. He knows the court so well. He knows Wimbledon so well. He knows centre so well. He knows all the angles. And touch wood, and this is a wooden table. If he stays fit, as I've always said, he doesn't get ill, he doesn't pick up an injury. Last year, I was at the match against Caboli in the quarterfinal where he got injured on match point. I think it was a point before match point, and he had a big thud right at the back of the court. He injured himself. He perhaps shouldn't have played against Sinner in the semi-final, but Djokovic being Djokovic, he played. He just needs a little bit of luck. He needs a little bit of luck this year, and I think the luck is, he's due some. He's due some. So if he stays fit, the way that he is playing, he's going to be really, really difficult to beat here. And I think a lot of the commentators, Tim Henman and Sam Querrey, have alluded to that. Now, Djokovic wasn't as efficient or as high quality, I'd say, in his match against Tsitsipas, but that's okay. I think in Wimbledon, you need to figure out ways of winning matches when you're not at your best. And I think Djokovic has alluded to that as well, is that there's so many challenges when you get to 39, extra challenges, physical, mental, but it's finding a way to get that match done. And I've said on X, and I'll say it to Arthur Rinderknech if he's watching this, but I genuinely believe the way that he played, he would have beaten anyone else at Wimbledon with that performance. I think it was really, really good. I think Djokovic, by his own admission, was stressed at the end of the set three. He was thinking, Rinderknech is not playing. Tim Henman on time at the BBC said that's probably the best set that Rinderknech's ever played in his career. I think he hit 13 winners and 2 unforced errors, which is against Novak Djokovic is pretty unthinkable. You don't get many players, if any at all, that will have stats like that against Djokovic. So my respect to Arthur Rinderknech. And my excitement for Djokovic, tennis is anything can happen in sport. So we can't take anything for granted. Next up, he's got Roman Safiullin. Everyone was expecting him to play João Fonseca, but I was quite happy if we played João Fonseca because I know that he's not a grass court player. And I watched that match prior to the Djokovic match, and Safiullin played a vintage grass court game. He ran to the net, he hit volleys, he hit slices, he was attacking, and João Fonseca tried to beat him from the back of the court, trying to hit it harder and harder. But if you're playing in grass court and you got a good volleyer, the harder you hit, the easier the volleys are because they're going to just absorb that pace and they're just going to angle it. So that's what Djokovic is going to be really mindful of now against Safiullin. I know Viktor Troicki will have studied Safiullin a lot. Safiullin plays a lot of grass court tennis, so in essence, it's going to be a more difficult match than João Fonseca because Safiullin is a good grass court player. I think he got to the quarters, I think, at Wimbledon 2023. So he knows his way around the grass court. He plays a lot. I've seen him at Nottingham and Surbiton, and he plays a lot of the UK grass courts. He's a serve and volleyer. He loves to get to the net. So Djokovic is going to have to adjust his game, which Fonseca didn't. But Djokovic is showing me that he's doing that this Wimbledon. His forehand is on fire at the moment. but he's not afraid to come in and hit some volleys. He hit 7 volley winners today. He had a lot of forehand winners. Obviously, he's still very, very strong at the back of the court, but he's not afraid to mix it up, and he needs to do that against Safiullin. He needs to get to the net. He needs to bring Safiullin to the net with some drop shots and try and get control of the point in that scenario as well. So really, really excited. Djokovic is through to week 2. And he's going to hit another record. So today he leveled the record, 105 wins at Wimbledon. The only guy who has got more, well, the same as Roger Federer. Roger Federer holds that record. I remember when he got to that record and everyone was saying that no one's going to ever get past 100, let alone to his 105. And here we have it. Djokovic is tied. He is now just one win away from beating another one of those Roger Federer records. What a guy Djokovic is. He likes his records, and he's going to be motivated for that. But what he can't do is he can't take Roman Safiullin lightly. He is probably in a false ranking. He's 132, but he had 6 months out at the end of the US Open in August. He came back kind of February, March this year. He's mainly been playing on the Challenger Tour, but his confidence is getting back. His injury is getting back. So he's not a 132 ranked player. He's much higher than that. So Djokovic is going to have to be on his guard and just take each game as it goes. But so far, as a whole summary for his first 3 matches, he had a really tough match against Yubing Wu, who I thought played the best tennis ever. Djokovic played one of his best matches in years against Tsitsipas. He just didn't give Tsitsipas a sniff. And today he wasn't at his highest level, but he brought the best out of Arthur Rinderknech and he still found a way to win. So I'm absolutely delighted with how his Wimbledon is going so far. And it's very much a team effort. You can see all the team are fully invested. His kids are fully invested. Jelena, we know, is always invested. And there's a good synergy, there's a good vibe. These are the vibes that I felt watching Djokovic win so many Wimbledon. I think he won 4 on the trot, and this is the atmosphere that's building. It's an atmosphere of unity, of excitement, and we can't wait to see what the second week brings. So congratulations, Novak Djokovic, into week 2 of Wimbledon. Sunday matches are back at Wimbledon, so he will be playing that match on Sunday. Whether it be centre, whether it be court 1, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Sunday, round 4, last 16, Novak Djokovic versus Roman Safiullin. Make sure you watch it. I can't wait, and I will be back with some more videos later. Take care. God bless everyone, and enjoy that win if you're a Djokovic fan. Idamo!